non-critical. Both victims at the time were in critical condition. Both victims at this time are now at Regional 1, where they've been transferred to. The adult male remains in critical condition. The adult female is non-critical. At this time, the investigators are here on the scene. They're working to gather video and speak to witnesses to gather suspect information. We were advised that earlier this morning there was a altercation here on the parking lot, but no injuries were reported at that earlier altercation. So investigators are also working to determine if those two events are connected. So that's all I got for you right now.
Do we know if either of the victims knew each other at this point?
So yes, the victims knew each other. It is undetermined if the victims and the suspects know each other or suspect.
And what time was this altercation that happened?
So this incident, the shooting incident, happened at 9:25 this morning. That's when officers responded.
And the earlier incident?
I don't have a time on that, but if you'll shoot me an email, I can follow up for you.
I see a hole in the Liberty Bank glass right now. Do we know if that's connected to what happened to
It is, yes.
Okay. Do we know approximately how many gunshots were fired?
That's going to be part of the investigation. Our crime scene techs are on the scene, so they will photograph and collect that evidence.
Is there any other indication of, ages of victims or anything else about
I
this?
don't have their ages right now. If you reach back out to us later, we can get that to you, but I do have confirmation that they are both adults.
Teresa, can you please start from the beginning?
Yes. So at 9:25 a.m., officers responded here to 4606 Elvis Presley Boulevard. When officers arrived, they did not locate any victims on the scene, but they located a crime scene. We were then notified that we had two victims at Methodist South, an adult male and adult female, both in critical condition. Both victims have now been transferred to Regional 1 Hospital. The male is still critical. The adult female is in non-critical condition. And investigators are here on the scene trying to determine exactly what led to this altercation and also who's responsible for this altercation.
Are you able to clarify, this had nothing to do with the bank, the Popeyes, the Kroger?
That's correct. It's all right here behind me where you see the crime scene at. It all happened outside of the business.
And is this like a market, do you know?
So it looks like it's a bunch of people that have set up some vendors maybe in preparation for Mother's Day.
Do we know, have any suspects been identified? Do we know where they are at this moment?
So that's what investigators are doing now. They're working to gather any video that may be out here and to speak to all the witnesses on the scene to determine if we have one suspect, multiple suspects, and then what they may have left the scene in. So if there was somebody who was here who has left the scene, because we understand it was very chaotic when this all happened, that we ask that you please call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH or call a precinct if you are willing to actually speak with us.
And we noticed that there were multiple people in patrol cars. Do we know at this time, are they under arrest or what's the reason there?
No, so we do have several witnesses separated right now, and that's just so we can speak to each witness individually.
Do we know the type of weapon that was used?
I don't have that information. That'll be part of the investigation.
Now, is there any information on the vendors? I mean, is this legal? Is this space legal for them to be here?
So this is private property, so you'd have to follow up with the businesses.
Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who you just heard from right there was Teresa Carlson with Memphis Police. She's a spokesperson for the department. We learned quite a bit of new information. We've learned that at 9:25 is when this shooting happened. There were two victims, a man and a woman, both adults, that were transported to Methodist South, but they are now both at Regional 1. The man is in critical condition right now. The woman is no longer in critical condition. She is stable. Those two victims, we're told, knew each other, but it's unclear at this time if the two victims actually know the person or the people responsible for shooting at them and shooting them. There was an incident that Carlson said happened earlier this morning, but they're not sure if that incident was connected to that shooting that happened out there. Again, police are looking for the people or the person responsible. We're going to stay on top of this story for you right now, but let's send things over to meteorologist Corey Smith for your forecast.
Of your Friday, we're looking at pretty nice temperatures on the way. We're looking at middle 70s, so pretty cool for this time of the year. In fact, hour by hour through the rest of today, you can see overall nice weather. We're maybe going to see some clouds moving through, but mostly sunny conditions expected for the rest of your Friday. And as you head into the weekend, things are looking rather nice. It looks like the weather is going to stick around.